Hope you all had a very great week so far. It's Friday, the 13th of December. And again, just as we begin to step into the weekend, let me do a very quick recap for you for Thursday. It was an Independence Day in Kenya, so the Nairobi securities market was closed for Thursday. The market will reopen for just one more day this week, today, and that's going to be the wrap for the week. We get the full week back next week for the Egyptian market and for a number of markets across the region as we look through to Christmas and the end of the year. But if you look at the Nigerian stock market, that was about a 0.25% gain on Thursday, adding to the Santa Claus rally that we're seeing. The insurance sector was up 0.2%. Oil and gas was better by 2.7%. Lafarge in industrial goods was up 6%. We also saw MTN Nigeria reporting quarterly profit for the third quarter for the first time in a number of quarters, dented by foreign exchange issues, then of course the Naira devaluation. But the MTN Nigeria's telco giant reporting very strong earnings for the third quarter ended September, perhaps things beginning to turn the corner for this big company. The BRVM in Cote d'Ivoire was down by 0.25%. The Egyptian stock market held on to those gains on Wednesday through to Thursday, 0.18%. The GSE remained in the red below the 88 and 87,000 level by 17 basis points. That's on profit taking there. What else do we have? Zimbabwe stock market was down 1.2%. Let me just walk through a couple of headlines within the various regions. If we start from East Africa with AFDB, the Deutsche Bank and the French Bank are looking to grant $1.2 billion for Tanzania Railway. President Suluhu Hassan seemed to have a way to get his money and investment into the country, and she's winning. And that's quite interesting for the president just marking a little over 2 years in office. The EFDB says it's granted Madagascar $165 million to develop a roads and trade facilitation between the rest of the continent and Madagascar on the island of the Indian Ocean. The World Bank Livestock Insurance said it paid about 1.4 billion shillings to farmers in Kenya, while Somalia and Saudi Arabia said they have an employment agreement that will see some Somalians move to Saudi Arabia and then begin to repatriate some of their earnings back into the country economy back in the Horn of Africa. A Sanlam of Kenya's shareholders have approved 3.25 billion rights issue, and then that's already going straight to the market. And if you're in there, I'm sure you know how that goes and how you can access that, by the way. Let's take it to West Africa. Bidvest Group in South Africa reported yesterday that it's selling its entire banking business for about 2.8 billion, roughly 3 billion rand to Nigeria's Access Bank. That's the latest from Access Bank. The report came in yesterday. Access Bank says at the conclusion of the deal by next year, it will merge the entire Bidvest with the existing South African operation of Access Bank in the country. In the meantime, investors are binging on Nigerian securities as the year comes to an end. So far this week, we've seen more than 2 trillion naira at the fixed income secondary window. Liberia's Honorable Minister of Finance said it's gotten public financial management deal with Morocco to support the West African country, while Ivory Coast cocoa grinding business is improving. We saw 16.1% year on year at the end of November. And the International Energy Agency has raised the 2025 global oil demand very slightly. There are also reports that diesel prices could rise next year because 1 million barrels per day being refined in US and Europe could shut down. That's also in the news this week. Oil prices are tapering slightly early today. Let's walk all out through to Southern Africa. And this is very interesting when you look at inflation expectations in South Africa now at a 3-year low, but the head of the SCRB, Leseja Kediago, says the central bank would tread very carefully, even though inflation seems to stay under wrap at the moment. Zambia is facing serious problem with the hydroelectric power, so it's now turning to coal power, and that will be roughly $900 million that the country, President Chilema's administration will need to get that up and running. Saudi giant company, the Zahid Group, said they're buying a major company in South Africa. We'll get details of that as we move on. And Zimbabwe's revenue agency, Zimri, has sent a notice, put all the churches in the country on notice to get ready for tax compliance. Anything outside tithing and contributions in the church, everything else will have to be taxed, including food, merchandise, book, literature, movies, whatever is being produced, will have to will no longer be tax exempt. That notice has been served, by the way. Let's see how it goes. Let's summarize it for you in North Africa. Morocco is expanding its meat imports with Argentina's deal on the table, while Egypt and Ireland says the trade exchange between the two countries is worth about 440, roughly $500 million between January and October this year. And Sonatrach is looking to resume Ghana-based exploration in the North African country, while Tunisia's schools are now fully open and back in business thanks to the government cash transfer program, which allows folks to be able to send kids to school. But there are concerns about the quality of education in some of those schools that are now reopened and fully occupied. But get everyone educated is very important. And let's leave it there for today, the 13th of December. Have a great day, everyone. Bye for now. I'll see you soon.